Hello, and thank you for joining us on Classic Vinyl Podcast. This is the podcast where we listen to and review songs and albums from the classic vinyl era of the 60s and 70s. This is our Meet the Beatles series, and we're on to side 2 of the Beatles' 5th studio album, Help. I am one of your hosts, Justin, and I'm once again joined by my other host, Tyler.
Yeah, somebody has to flip the record over, right?
Exactly. And I guess it's time to get right to it. Are you ready to get to side 2?
So ready.
Side 2.
So side 2 opens up by the only song on the album sang by the drummer Ringo Starr. He usually gets a song per album, and it's Act Naturally. Now, this song was written by Johnny Russell and Vonnie Morrison and originally made famous by the country artist Buck Owens. This was the B-side of the single Yesterday in the U.S., and it was found on the U.S. album Yesterday and Today. This is actually the last cover from the band until you get to the Let It Be album. So they had quite a few covers on their first few albums, but they got into straight original material after this. This is a country and western song. The band decided to replace the Ringo sang song If You've Got Trouble, which is a song we'll do, it'll be quite a while from now until we get to the anthologies, but he had recorded a song, If You've Got Trouble. It was supposed to be on this album originally, and they replaced it with this. It was recorded in a total of 13 takes, although 12 of the takes were simply rehearsals, with Ringo Starr's vocals being recorded on the 13th take. I think I know you probably don't know this song very well, or maybe you do. You tell me.
This song gets a lot of radio play. This song, though, it doesn't sound like Ringo Starr to me. It sounds like Buck Owens. And so I'd never really associated with the Beatles, this song.
Well, the Beatles song, I think, had a little more popularity. I mean, obviously, in the rock and roll world, the Buck Owens song was a huge hit. I obviously hear Ringo in it. Yeah. I mean, it's Ringo's, his vocals, pretty hard to be missed, but it is similar in that way. What are your thoughts on this one?
So he doesn't sound like British Ringo Starr. He sounds like a country singer.
Well, and Ringo's into country. He's released a couple country albums, one actually fairly recently.
Yeah, so I guess that's why I'm not hearing the Ringo so much, but I really enjoyed the song. I think it's well done. I think it's a good cover. I'm glad that the Beatles have started doing more of their own work by this time, and that this is like the last cover that they'll do, because anybody can do a cover. It's pretty rare that somebody takes a cover and makes it their own. It has happened. There's some times where the cover's better than the original. Maybe this is even one of those times, but I like hearing more of just what the Beatles are producing themselves.
Yeah, and there is one more cover on the album. This was just the last one they recorded.
Okay, yeah. So either way, I'm just glad to see that they're doing only their own stuff. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. So, Act Naturally, it's a song that I enjoy because it's kind of silly and self-deprecating. It's about this guy that's like, oh, well, you know, I'm such a lovesick fool that I'll go to Hollywood and they'll put me in the movies, and all I gotta do is act naturally anytime they need somebody that's a fool that's falling for a girl and she don't love him back. That's kind of what the song is, and that's not anybody in the Beatles' fault, but it's I enjoy it. I put this one up there. One of the things I noticed about this one is the percussion in it is really interesting. The most identifiable percussion that I'm picking up is the clicking together of the drumsticks. So it seems like Ringo's just kind of smacking the sticks together, and it sounds pretty good. I just once again, I had no idea it was a Beatles song. It just sounds like pure country to me. What are your thoughts on this one, Justin?
Well, the biggest fool that ever hit the big time, that's Ringo. This is a typical Ringo vocal, and this is kind of, to me, typical of what makes the Beatles so amazing, is they can play a cover of a country song and make us think it's pop rock. And I've always believed it was, and I don't like country, but I don't mind this song. It's not a bad song. I mean, it's still Ringo. I think the best thing in this song is the bass and the little guitar licks. I think it's a decent song. I would probably say, unlike you, it's probably my first or second weakest song on the album. And that's mainly because it's a cover and it's a Ringo vocal. Ringo vocals, for me, tend to be okay, but for the most part, they're kind of, well, it's sort of the goofy guy on the album that doesn't do the singing. And that's kind of the way I look at it. Not that I don't adore him and like his songs, but that's just the way it is for me.
This song doesn't really help him to shake that reputation, does it?
No, it doesn't at this point. So that moves us to the second song on side 2, It's Only Love. Now, this song was a Lennon composition mainly, and it's sang by Lennon. Of course, it's double-tracked again like Lennon liked to do with his vocals. The original working title of this song was That's a Nice Hat. And now I'm not sure where that comes from, but it's kind of an interesting song title. And like the Beatles' UK and US albums, this one was actually found on the US version of Rubber Soul, where it's obviously on the UK version of Help. It was recorded in 6 takes and features many guitars overdubbed on this thing. You've got 3 electric guitars, 2 acoustic guitars, and Harrison playing his 12-string Rickenbacker on this with a tremolo effect. Lennon has stated in multiple interviews, especially towards the end of his life, that this was one of his least favorite Beatles, I wouldn't say songs, but lyrics. He thought the lyrics were lousy. He thought they were horrible. He did not like this song. Now, that's assuming he remembered what it was, too, but he said that a couple times. The lyrics are pretty self-explanatory, what they're about, as a lot of their early songs are. There is an alternate version of this song found on Anthology 2, if you want to go listen to it. Was this your first time to listening to It's Only Love?
I think so. This is kind of your typical 60s style love song. It's just about a guy that loves a girl who has some negative qualities. And in spite of all those negative qualities, he still loves her through it. Lennon does get a little bit of strain in his voice in this song. He sings pretty intensely, but it's still reined in enough that it's controlled. And I mean, it's not quite like your twist and shout. You know, this is a good song. I'm sorry to disagree with Mr. Lennon. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I guess it's not necessarily one of my favorites on this album, so I'll agree with him there. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I disagree with John Lennon on this too. This has always been a song I've enjoyed. Maybe he thinks the lyrics are a little corny, but I would think, a lot of their first several albums have kind of, I wouldn't say corny lyrics, but just of the time, just lovey-dovey type of stuff. And that's kind of what this one is. And maybe he was embarrassed about that. But I think his vocal on this one is one of the best things. I like it. And I like how it's really calm and cool. And it does have that little strain in it. I like the guitar, the tremolo opening on this song. And it kind of goes throughout. It's really cool throughout as far as the guitar licks. This is a really good song. So I disagree with John on that one. So that moves us to the next song, You Like Me Too Much. Now, this song is written and sang by George Harrison, and he's got his vocals double-tracked on this. I guess that was just the thing to do at the time.
It's interesting because I really thought that this was a duet with him and Lennon.
It kind of sounds like a duet. That's something I was going to get to when I was talking about the song because it is so echoey. It's not so much as a double as it sounds echoey. It just must be the way they did it. But this song's found on the U.S. album Beatles 6. This song actually features George Martin on the piano, and there is some electric piano in it as well. The song opens with a standard piano, but then there's electric piano throughout. I assume George Martin plays all of that through, but I'm not sure. This was recorded in 8 takes the same day as The Night Before. This song was originally supposed to be in the film, but for some odd reason that everybody's forgotten by now, it was rejected. The song is supposedly about Harrison's relationship with Patty Boyd, who once again he met on A Hard Day's Night filming and married in 1966. What about You Like Me Too Much? Is this your first time hearing this one?
Probably. I'm very much not familiar with it. So for all intents and purposes, yes, this is my first time listening to this one. It starts off with that piano open, which right out of the gate it's done very well. George Martin is really excellent on the piano. He does an excellent job with the open. As far as the song goes, the song is about a guy who's probably a jerk. He knows that he's a jerk, yet he knows that she likes him in spite of him being a jerk, and he likes her almost as much as he likes being a jerk. So it's not like he intends on changing. For as much as he drives her crazy and makes her want to leave, and she's had her bag packed and been on the way out the door, but she always turns around and comes back. And she just likes him.
And she'll end up marrying him.
She will. Kind of a cute little song. I got to applaud George Harrison. He did a really good job putting this song together. And yeah, I put this one up there a ways. So what are your thoughts on You Like Me Too Much?
Well, I don't like you too much.
I know.
And this song, I wouldn't say I like too much either. I wouldn't say I dislike it either. It's okay. I think the early George Harrison compositions are him kind of working his songwriting out despite the giant egos of Paul McCartney and John Lennon. And I think it was tough for him. This isn't a bad song. You're right. The piano opening for Martin and the electric piano throughout, it carries through the whole song, is great. I think the bass and drums in this are decent. That electric piano throughout this song was the main thing, and I think the best thing about it. The vocal is good, but like I was saying, it, even though it's doubled, it sounds a tad bit echoey, like it wasn't mixed right, or maybe it was supposed to be that way.
Maybe it's like a half step off or something.
Yeah, almost. It kind of feels like it is. It kind of sounds like it is, but it does have that good piano intro, and it also has a good piano outro. So not a bad song at all. I don't dislike it, but it's kind of probably on the lower tier for me on this album. So that moves us on to the next song, Tell Me What You See. Now, this is a song that was mainly written by Paul McCartney, and it's sang by both McCartney and Lennon together, which I really enjoy on this one. This song was also released on the U.S. album Beatles 6. It was recorded in 4 takes, the same day as You've Got to Hide Your Love Away and If You've Got Trouble. The song features a very interesting instrument. It's a stick called a gyro. It's played by George Harrison, and it's like a wooden stick. It's a Latin American instrument, and I don't know if you scrape it against something, but you can hear it scraping through the whole thing. It's almost like a washboard sound.
Yeah, it's got like the ridges cut into the corner of it, and you just run another stick, a smooth stick over it.
That's kind of what it looked like to me. Yeah,
makes a rattle sound. Yeah,
but you can hear it through the whole song. It's probably one of the most prominent things in the whole song. This song also features Paul McCartney playing the piano, the electric piano in this one. This is another song that was considered for the film, but for some other reason was rejected. This is really a song Paul McCartney has said about his troubles with romance. So Tell Me What You See. I assume this is another one you're hearing for the first time. And what are your thoughts on it?
That would be correct. This is another first time for me. My thoughts are, it's a decent song. So this song, Tell Me What You See, it's about a guy who is very straightforward with his personality. He's got what you see is what you get. That's what she's going to expect from him, or all she can expect from him. He is who he is. And that's why I take from the lyrics. Instrument-wise, this is excellent music. It's a simple enough song. It's got a little bit of that country feel to it. Not too heavy, but there's a lot of country themed songs or country music
I kind of see it more as a country mixed with pop and kind of and also kind of starting to border on folk rock a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the interesting thing the Beatles did was they didn't have one influence. They didn't say, okay, Little Richard and Elvis are our only influences. They pulled influences from everywhere, whether it be, country or rock or pop or girl group, that kind of stuff, Motown.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's kind of interesting.
It is really cool the way that they do that because it keeps it fresh. It keeps it exciting. And you never know what you're going to get from the Beatles, but because as soon as you think you got them cutting into a groove, they go and change tracks on you, and it's great.
Yeah, and I really think this is also the last album where they were bringing those influences. I mean, obviously they brought the influences later, but starting on their next album is really when they reinvented everything in the studio going forward.
This song does feature the tambourine, and it's done extremely excellently. That tambourine gets shaken baby syndrome, something fierce. Excellent instrument work from everyone in the band. This is a kind of song where instrument-wise, this is what we expect from these guys. They're masters at their instruments, and it really shows. Lyric-wise, not bad, not great. Just kind of meh. What are your thoughts on this one, Justin?
I really like this song. I think the two things I really like about this are Lennon and McCartney's harmonies together. I think that's pretty special.
Yeah.
Anytime you can hear that, I just think it I don't know, it gives it that interesting feel, and it gives me almost a sad feeling sometimes. But the electric piano on the break is one of the best things in it, too. The bass is thick, the drums are standard Ringo. It's got a good rhythm to the song. The gyro is one of the really, I think that's how you say it, is gyro or gyro, that wooden stick. That's kind of gives an interesting sound throughout the song. And it's just something you would have thought, okay, let's just pull this out, or let's pull that out. Let's get this stick with this notches in it and run it through this song. And you wouldn't think it would work or sound right, but you could. The song would be completely different. I've listened to it so many hundreds and hundreds of times with that. You take that out and it'd just really destroy the song. But like I said, I think the harmonies are the best thing in this, and I just think the vocals are the strongest thing. Lyrically, like you said, it's kind of lovey-dovey type of thing, whatever you want to call it, but not super strong lyrically, but musically and vocally, I think it's a very strong song. So that brings us to the next song, I've Just Seen a Face. So this is another one that's mainly a Paul McCartney song, and this one is sang by Paul McCartney. Now, this song had an original working title of Auntie Jen's Theme because McCartney's Aunt Jen really liked the song. That's really where it came from.
That's fair.
So this was also on the U.S. version of Rubber Soul, which makes that Rubber Soul U.S. version completely different than the U.K. version. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that grew up with that. I know the U.K. version, but this was recorded in 6 total takes and overdubbed the same day as I'm Down and Yesterday. Now, McCartney's explained this song is a very up-tempo country and western style song that was inspired by his then girlfriend Jane Asher. Funny thing is this is the one McCartney calls kind of country and western, and I don't feel it as much in this one. I guess I kind of do when he says that, but I don't as much. This is also one of the very few songs that Paul McCartney and Wings played live in the 70s that were from the Beatles era. So, Tyler, after listening to I've Just Seen a Face, was this your first time hearing it? And what do you think of this?
Yeah, this is another first time for me.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think that's 4 in a row.
Yeah.
I can hear the country influence in this, that country western tune. But boy, it's got that fast tempo, and it is a super. It's not like some of the other country songs on here that have been a little more slow, and it's kind of beguiling of that country western or country western genre, is because you get more of a slow tempo from those, or at least you don't get this kind of fast upbeat tempo. But what that reflects is like the way that this guy's heart is just pounding in his chest every time he sees her face. So this song is kind of reminiscent of the Monkees' "I'm a Believer" song that we did recently.
Yeah,
where this is a song that just really gets his heart pumping with that upbeat tempo. This guy's in love with a pretty girl, and he was hit with love at first sight. And every time he saw that face, he falls. But then she calls his name and calls him back, right? It's a great little love song. I can see why Auntie Jen loved it, and good homage to her calling it Auntie Jen's theme. This is a great song. What are your feelings about this one?
Definitely one of my favorites on the album. I really like this song. The finger picking to start this song is really great. It's got another amazing McCartney vocal, man of 1,000 voices, like we've talked a bunch of times. He's got a few songs on here you wouldn't even know it was the same singer if you weren't familiar with the Beatles, and that's just how it is. It's got great harmonies on this song, which once again, I think that's probably the shining thing on this one. It's a very upbeat song. It's got a good little guitar solo from George. I just think this is a very fun and strong song. You say you feel the country and hear the country in it. I probably try to ignore the country in it because it's a Beatles song to me, and I don't see things that way, but I do realize the influences they bring in. But this is definitely one of my favorite songs on the album, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So that brings us on to the next song on side 2, Yesterday. Now, this was written and sang by Paul McCartney. He's pretty much the only Beatle featured on this. Now, the B-side to this single was Act Naturally, like I said earlier. This song, Yesterday, is found on the Yesterday and Today U.S. album. Now, this song had a working title too originally, and it was called Scrambled Eggs. And with the second line being, "Oh, my baby, how I love your legs." So he come up with the the music to the song and the
Mhm.
basic outline of the song before the lyrics.
Scrambled eggs.
Oh, baby, how I love your
see
legs.
your legs.
Yeah. Wouldn't that have been an interesting version? Maybe you ought to record that version now. So this song was recorded the same day as I've Just Seen a Face and I'm Down in just 2 takes with McCartney on his acoustic guitar. So we got it down pretty quick. But of course, the other thing this song strongly features is the strings. So the string quartet was overdubbed on top of that. And this was the first use of the string quartet by the Beatles. So McCartney has stated he wrote this song while he was living at the family home of Jane Asher once again. The tune came into his head, I guess, and he put scrambled eggs to it. But he actually thought this was an old tune he was just remembering, an old show tune or something like that. So he kind of shopped it around to all kinds of people and friends saying, hey, what's this song from? Where do I know this from? And basically, after everybody said, no, we don't know that song, he realized that he had come up with it. What's funny about that is he just come up with this song, and this been said that this song is the most covered song of any song of all time. It's been covered thousands of times. So the single itself reached number 1 in the US, only number 4 in Canada for some reason, but it was not released in the single in the UK until 1976. But in 1976, it did reach number 8 in the charts. Now, you can find an alternate version on Anthology 2, and there is kind of an alternate version on that Cirque Soleil album, Love, that's kind of interesting. I know you've heard this song before, Tyler, but what are your thoughts on Yesterday?
This song has been covered. It's been exhausted. It has been thoroughly gone through. This song has been stuck in my head.
You know what's funny about that, too? As many times as it's been covered, you don't hear it that much.
You really don't.
At least I don't, and I'm playing the Beatles world quite a bit. I obviously hear the Beatles version, but I don't hear covers of this song.
No, you don't. And I think it's because people may try to take this song and make it their own, because that's kind of the goal for a cover, right? Is you're going to take somebody else's work and make it your own. Good luck. I mean, this is Paul McCartney. This is his soul in this song, and you feel it. And then the thing about this song, and maybe I'll tip my hand a little bit on the rating. In my head, when I'm listening to this song and critiquing it, reviewing it, what have you, the strings add such a thick layer of serious depth to this song. You hear them just weeping with the lyrics. Without those strings, this song is a 6. It's still good, barely above a 5, right? But man, you add the strings and that cello specifically. It's such a deep, haunting, moaning wail of an instrument. What that adds, and what the rest of these crying strings add to it, is it bumps it all the way up to a 9. This song's incredible. So glad that they put strings in with this one, because the strings are just a perfect addition to this song. It's such an accent to it that really punches it home. And lyric wise, I think everybody knows what the lyrics are. I guess I'll just lay it out a little bit. This is a guy who, yesterday, the love of his life, walked out the door and left him, and he's not really sure why. She wouldn't tell him why she was breaking up with him or why she was leaving him, but just left him brokenhearted. And now he's crushed. And this song is the sound that his heart makes when it's broken. Beautiful song, excellent, masterful work from Sir Paul McCartney. What are your thoughts on this one, Justin?
While I agree with you on certain things, I've heard this song acoustic only without the strings, and I do agree they add to it, but I think the song's a 10 without the strings, and I think the song's a 10 with the strings, in my opinion.
All right.
I love the chord changes in the song. It's really just Paul McCartney on acoustic guitar. No other Beatles, no drums, no bass, no anything, just the strings. And I think it was an amazing addition to it. It's a very sad, reflective song. I think it's a realization of adulthood in some ways and love, the realization and the reality of love. I think it's another great McCartney vocal. The band almost didn't record it because they were a band.
Yeah.
And this is a solo Paul McCartney song. It
Very
really
much
is.
so.
But yeah, the strings fit in perfectly in this song. The vocal's great. I think it's an amazing song. And I don't agree with John Lennon, but he did once say in one of his songs that the only thing you did was yesterday, referring to Paul McCartney. I disagree with that, but I think it's one of the best things he did.
It shows that this only took two takes, and that's what you get when you record Paul McCartney.
Yeah, this is him coming into his songwriting without a doubt. So that moves us to the last song on the album, Dizzy Miss Lizzy. This is another cover by the band, but of course they had recorded this before Act Naturally. But this was written by Larry Williams and sang by John Lennon. This is recorded on the same day as they done another Larry Williams song, which we've done, Bad Boy. We released that a few episodes back. This song is recorded in a total of 7 takes. You've got John Lennon playing organ on this song, and they double-tracked Harrison's lead guitar on this song. It was part of the band's live set, really since their very early days. They played this song a lot live. This was released on the U.S. album Beatles 6. You can find live versions of this on Live at the BBC and Live at the Hollywood Bowl. Tyler, have you heard this song? And one way or another, what are your thoughts on it?
This song, I might have heard it, but I haven't. This could just as well be a first for me, because this song, I don't hear it all that much, and it's one that I'm really not familiar with, but man, do I want to be familiar with it. This song is just a fun dancing song. There's a reason why these guys incorporate this into their shows and their concerts. These guys play this live all the time because it is a dancing song. This song is that strong blues rhythm, that it's a heavy John Lennon screamer kind of song. He's really just rocking out. All of them are rocking out. Everybody's having a great time. This song is what it sounds like when they say letting it all hang out. This was such a term from the 60s, and that's exactly what we get. These guys are having so much fun, especially the percussion in this. So you got Ringo that just is beating the crap out of this cymbal back there, giving this constant tinny sound. The percussion is mixed to the back, so it's not distracting, but it does give you this like Tin Lizzy. I mean, it's it may as well be called the Dizzy Miss Tin Lizzy. It's a great song, a lot of fun, and I rate it pretty high. What are your thoughts on this one, Justin?
I think we're a little far off on this one because this is one of my least favorite songs on the album.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not saying I don't like it, but once again, when it becomes a cover, it's hard for me because at this point, I don't want to hear the covers as much. I would say probably out of this whole album, this is probably the one I skip the most if I skip it. And that may be because it's the last song. But I will say it's got that cool little guitar riff that opens it up, and that's the theme through the whole song. And I like that guitar riff. Like I said, it continues throughout. It does have a good rhythm section on it. Like you said, Ringo on that cymbal all the way through. The rhythm guitar is good on it. The bass is good on it. And I think probably the thing that shines the best on it is the Lennon vocal, because it borders on screaming on Lennon, kind of like he does in Twist and Shout, stuff like that. It's another way to end the album. And so I really do enjoy the vocal. And it's not that I dislike the song. I do enjoy the song. Just comparative to the other songs on the album, it probably falls a little short for me. So that finishes up the album and all the songs. Do you want to get to the song ratings?
Yes, let's rate them.
Song rating.
Okay, so we're just going to go through every song and give our rating out of 1 to 10 on them. And we'll start with the first song on side 1, the title track, Help. What do you rate that song?
I give that one an 8. What do you put that one at?
I put Help, the title song, at a 10.
Yeah.
Big song for me. I really love that song.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to kick off the album. And I think the thing that really strikes me on that one is the emotion in Lennon. And it's one of his first emotional vocals. So that's why I really like that song. So we go to The Night Before. What about that one?
Night Before, I put up there as 7. I put all of these songs like north of 5. I don't have any losers on this one. Where do you put this one?
Night Before, I'm at a 7.5. It's a good song, definitely. So that moves us to You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. I know you didn't like that one quite as much, but
no, I put that one as 6.5. It's not as good as the previous song, so I can't put it as 7. So I dropped it down half a point. All right, where do you put You've Got to Hide Your Love Away?
I like that one quite a bit better than you do.
I
And
bet.
I think I said that in last week's episode. I rate that song a 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very strong song for me. One of my favorite on the album. Without a
3
doubt.
full points higher than me. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So that moves us to the first George Harrison song on here, I Need You. What do you think of that one?
This one, I guess, now that I'm reflecting on this one, I put it lower than I thought. So this song, I put this one at a 4.
You
And-
just got done saying you didn't put anything south of a 5.
Okay. I did. I guess I didn't realize I had a loser on here. So this one, it is south of 5. It's a 4. Now, this is the one with that double beat. This is that song that has that 2-beat thing with the volume pedal that drove me crazy.
Yeah, you didn't like that.
I didn't like it at all. If you cut that out, this bumps it up a full 3 points to a 7.
Imagine they did that to you.
I know. This is on them, not on me. Where do you put I Need You, Justin?
Well, I don't know if you need me or not, but I rate that one a little bit higher than you, although I do agree with you being that volume pedal is a little etching into the soul. It's just what I'm used to hearing. I rate this song a 7.
Okay. See, told you.
Yeah.
you just tune it out.
So that brings us to the next song, Another Girl. Now, this was another McCartney song. What did you rate this one?
Gave this one a 4. I forgot that when I wrote these ratings down last week, I did have a couple of losers in here, and this one's a 4. I did not enjoy it.
Yeah, but isn't that based on the content more than anything?
It really is, and I'm not a big country fan, and so these songs that are more country music based, I'm not digging them. Now, watch me eat those words later too, because I'm sure that I've got some of these country songs from side 2 that I've rated up there higher. Where do you put Another Girl?
Well, now that you've been proven to be a liar twice,
Yeah.
I don't hear any country in this song, and I don't have a problem with the content. I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the band's popularity at the time, without a doubt. I rate this song, it's definitely not my favorite, but I put it at a 7.5. So that moves us to the next song, You're Going to Lose That Girl. What about this one, Ty?
Oh, this is a great song. I love this song. I'd give it an 8. Where do you put this one, Justin?
That's the first one you've rated higher than me, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm at a 7.5 on this one. It's an okay song. I kind of harken back to the song right before it. It's about the same. It's a good song, but not my favorite on the album.
Well, at least I'm not a full 3 points higher than you.
That's true. So that moves us on to the last song on side 1, Ticket to Ride. What did you think of this one?
Ticket to Ride, I put at a 9. This one was amazing. I absolutely love the Beatles version of this song even more than I love the Carpenters, and I like the Carpenters version. And you may slap me around for liking them, but I put them probably a 7. These guys are a 9. Where do you put them?
I don't like hearing the Carpenters mentioned during the same breath as the Beatles, but I guess we'll let you live this time.
All right, well, this is why it's a privilege for me every time I come into your basement and I'm not kicked out immediately.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure on last week's episode, you might have said that you liked the Carpenters version better. So you might be lying again. But either way, I agree with you this week. And I rate Ticket to Ride a 10. I think it's an absolutely amazing song. I think that's an amazing way to end side 1. You start it with a 10 and end it with a 10, in my opinion. But
For sure.
so now we get to side 2, and we're going with the lone Ringo song on this album. Not written by Ringo, of course, but Act Naturally. What are your thoughts on this one?
Once again, I'm eating my words. I'm putting this, so for being a very country-ish song.
Yeah, this is the most country song on the album, without a doubt.
And I put it at an 8. I like this song, and I really like Ringo singing it. This is, it's got personality for me. I might not have sounded all that keen on it during the review part, but hey, I really enjoyed it. What do you put Act Naturally, Justin?
So this is one you're a little higher than me on. It belongs on this album. I like the song. It's an interesting song. I mean, it's a Ringo song, right? I put it at a 6.5. Not bad. So that moves us to the next song, the John Lennon hated It's Only Love. How much did you hate this song, Tyler?
This one's not one of my favorites, but it's still pretty good. I put this one at a 7. For not being one of my favorites, I put it up there respectfully. This song's well done. So where do you put It's Only Love?
Well, I'm sorry to both Mr. John Lennon and Mr. Tyler, but this is one of my favorites on the album, and I rate this song a 9. I think it's a very strong song. I've always liked this song. I don't really care about the vocals. I just think the music's good, and I think his vocals good in it. So good song as far as I'm concerned. So that moves us to the second George Harrison composition on the album, You Like Me Too Much. What are your thoughts on this one?
This one's another winner. This one, George Harrison, he did a good job. I put this one up there at an 8, and it's got a wonderful sound to it. There's something about the cockiness of this song and the way that this guy who's a jerk is talking to this girl who wants to leave him, but she's not going to leave him because she likes him too much. There's something about it that just really fits and rings true. So I call this one a winner. It's 8. Where do you put this one?
I'll probably sound like a George Harrison hater, which I'm not, but I don't really care for his 2 songs on this album as much as the rest of the songs. They're good songs.
Yeah.
I just don't like them as much. I rate this one a 7. I think he would start becoming a much better songwriter starting with the next couple albums, without a doubt. So that moves us to another McCartney composition, Tell Me What You See. I want you to tell me what you feel on this one, Tyler.
This one, I'm feeling a 7. It's good. It's just not great. This one, it's hard to say, Beatles song album filler, but the song just kind of, it's on the album. It's a good listen, but it's not anything that I'm going to be like, oh, I can't wait to listen to that one again. I just enjoyed listening to it, and I'll enjoy when I listen to it again. Where do you put this one?
So this one I like quite a bit more than you. I rate this one a 9. And my rating is purely based on the Lennon and McCartney duet on this. I think it's absolutely amazing. I love their harmonies. I think it's a good song throughout anyways, but I really enjoy their harmonies, and that's why this song falls in one of my favorites on the album. So that moves us into the next McCartney song, I've Just Seen a Face. What are your thoughts on this one?
So I've Just Seen a Face. I really fell in love with this song, just the way that he and his Aunt Jen fell in love with it. This one, I'm actually going to alter my original rating, which is a huge no-no on this podcast. But I'm breaking the rule. I'm going to bump it up a half point because this song is a half point better than I originally thought. It's 8.5. Where do you put this one, Justin?
Well, the only rule for you changing your rating is you can't change it after you hear me say something because, remember, you're influenced, you're peer pressured.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't said anything yet, so
okay.
It's still okay. Plus, it's kind of our podcast, so you can do whatever the hell you want.
I still deserve to be kicked out of your basement.
I love this song, everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
I rate this song a 10. It's one of my favorite on the album. It's one of my favorite McCartney songs. I just enjoy hearing it. I like the upbeat tempo. I like the lyrical content. I just like everything about it. So it moves us on to the most covered song of all time, right?
Yeah.
And really not a Beatles song, but on a Beatles album by McCartney and a string quartet. What are your thoughts on Yesterday?
I said it before, it is a 9, and it's still a 9. Without the strings, I bump it down to a 6, but those strings just really amplify the feeling of this song so much in my heart, and it's beautiful. Where do you put this one?
There's no way I'm not a 10 on this song.
Mm-hmm.
With strings, without strings, whatever it is. This is just a song that is very powerful, and it's so different from what they were doing, yet so in line with what they were doing because everything they were doing was different.
Yeah.
And so that's what's perfect about it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite song, but I have to give it its due justice and rate it a 10. So that brings us to the last song on the album, the last cover, or the second to last cover, but the last cover in order, Dizzy Miss Lizzy. What are your thoughts on this one?
Dizzy Miss Lizzy, I had so much fun listening to that song. I put it at a 9. I'm keeping it at a 9. It seems unfair to keep it on par with Yesterday, but that's just the rhythm of my heart resonating with it. So whenever it comes to the Beatles, I have to concede that I'm wrong and you're right. So where do you put Dizzy Miss Lizzy?
Well, the one thing we got to remember what we're doing on this podcast a lot of times is you're hearing these songs for the first time ever, or at least the first time to sit down and listen to the songs. So that's really it's about is what it makes you feel. And I know I'm influenced because I've liked the Beatles so much, all the books I've read and all the movies and shows I've watched, that Yesterday's Beat Into My Head is such an amazing song. And
Yeah.
it is, but I'm sure I have influence there as well. Dizzy Miss Lizzie, I rated a 7.5. It's an okay song. I think Lennon's vocal's the strongest thing in it. I think it's a good way to close the album. I can't really change anything about it, but I am glad that this is the last album they had covers on, because going forward is really when this band starts propelling and changing everything, in my opinion. So good way to end the album.
For sure.
Do you want to get the album rating?
Let's rate it.
Album rating.
Okay, so our rating scale, you probably already guessed, it's 0 to 10, 10 being the best. And with this whole album overall, all of those ratings for the songs combined, averaged out, weighed together, given the median, and mode, or whatever, stat you want to use. I put this one at an 8. I was thinking a 7. No, I put it at an 8. It's too good. It's just, there's so much about this album that I love. There's so many of these songs that I just fell in love with, even the ones that I listened to for the first time. It was a beautiful experience, and so it's a solid 8 for me, and I'm probably lower than you on this one. I don't know where did you put it, Justin?
Well, that's the funny thing about an album is we can go through and add them all up and rate each song individually. And here's kind of a good example. You could have every song added up and divide it by the amount of songs, and it'd be a 6, but the album could still be an 8 collectively. When I rate the Beatles, I try and rate them based on their own work, not on other stuff. That's a different bar as far as I'm concerned as a super fan, because a lot of their early stuff, as great as it is, it wasn't quite as inventive yet. And so if you add up all my scores and everything, my average is an 8.4.
Oh,
I added it up while
Well
you were
done.
talking and divided it. It's an 8.4 on my scores. But I rate this album a 9. It's a very important album to me. I think it's kind of a building block to everything they were doing. And like I said on the first episode, it's one of the first 2 Beatles albums I ever purchased. So it holds that place to me as well. So certain things just more about feeling. I know you dive deep into lyrical content, and it's probably a little easier to do when you're hearing certain things for the first time because you don't have anything else to go off of.
true.
I have a lot of nostalgia built into things and songs that remind me of certain things. And it's just, it's a whole different feeling. And I think people know that, and you know that about other music that you've listened to for years as well.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, Help is an amazing album. I rated a 9. Even the songs I dislike, I would never kick off this album. There's really only 2 Beatles songs in their whole catalog that I would be fine if they disappeared. And we'll get to them one day.
Okay. Not on this album.
No, not on this album. So that's Beatles' Help album. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, want to let us know what you would rate it or what you think of our rating. If you have any songs or albums you'd like us to rate, please send them to us at classicvinylpodcast@gmail.com. And like always, we really appreciate you taking your time to listen to us because we don't know what we're doing, but we just enjoy doing it either way. So
If nothing else, go watch the movie. Help is a good movie, and I saw that before we did this podcast.
yeah, it's a really good movie.
Mhm.
Really good movie. Just take it for what it is. It's a little insensitive nowadays in certain areas, but
True.
it is what it is. It's what the time was. It's how it was, and it's a great movie. Don't judge it harshly.
Yeah, it's a fun ride. Just enjoy it.
Yeah. So until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to Classic Vinyl Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Classic Vinyl Podcast for updates, and also share us with your music-loving friends.